there was a time I was trying to I want to learn coding, if you remember.
I Google told you I also tried to do the whole coding thing.
Yeah, and I'm still so much interested in it, because when it comes to coding, I might just be part of the fifth generation, if you know what I mean. I don't have to write code, but I can use other elements that has been already programmed, to make up for the things that I would like to do with coding. And so that has been helpful in the area that we've worked together on the website and all the stuff like that.
I think one thing I would say, I think that when I was learning code a few years ago helped me is that when I started learning code, I wanted to learn it then to know it. I just stumbled upon it. I had come from a law background. Up until when I walked in to that whole situation, I didn't have a clue what coding was, how websites were built, any of those. I just saw that, you could learn to code and it's all the websites. I was like, okay, I want to maximize this whole experience as much as possible. People who are learning it don't have to hate. People are doing it right, so let me learn it. And one of the things, a friend of mine who was running the business at the time said to me was that, which was also a ginger for me to want to learn it. He was like, as a business owner, you must make it a priority to know a little bit about every part of your business. So don't be in the dark about any part of it. You might not be expert level, but don't be in the dark about it. And I wanted to build a technology company. I wanted to build something in tech. In other words, there has to be coding and those kinds of things involved, or at least work with people like that. So I was like, okay, so I have absolutely no clue about this thing. It shouldn't be. So I started learning, and I started with HTML, JavaScript, and CSS. And so after a while, I was doing a lot of things at the same time in school. After a while, I realized that, okay, well, I found out about, all the WordPresses and the Shopifys and stuff. And I was like, okay, so maybe what I would do is, let me just, test my ideas on those platforms. And when I need to build, I'll just get a developer to build. At least I have a clue about what
the
href is and all
exactly
the basis of it. And so I stopped. I shouldn't have stopped it, because if I just committed a few years to it, I would have known it. But right now, funny enough, I was listening to a LinkedIn live a couple of days ago. Co-founder of Netflix. I've been following him a lot on LinkedIn recently, and he does this series called Ask Me Anything every month. And so I watched the last one, which was a couple of days ago. And so somebody asked him that, as an entrepreneur who's trying to cut costs, who's learned graphic design and learned this one and learned that one to kind of keep the cost of running the business down while he's bootstrapping, what other skill would he recommend that the person learn? And he said coding.
Whoa.
And he said, and I love the reason he said it, at least for the entrepreneur. He was like, so many people who are running businesses, you have to work with developers. You don't want to not be able to communicate. It's like learning a foreign language and you want to hire people who are French speaking. Know how to speak French. You might not know how to speak it very fluently. You might not know how to really go into the deep, but know how to at least communicate a little bit. When they say something, at least hear, right? And so that was what his recommendation was. And I think even for people who want to go into things like product management, who want to go into product design and all these things, having those skills, it's a good thing. Although on the flip side, so while I was doing the website thing I'm working on now, I needed to change one of the contact form plugins. It wasn't easy to change. You couldn't just use a button to change the color of the call to action. They only put enter your CSS code. Now, I'm not afraid of CSS code because I know what CSS code is. I'm like, what's CSS code for this changing thing again? Obviously, it's been a long time I'd actually learned. So I went on ChatGPT and I was like, this, give me CSS code for da 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 da. And so he gave me a recommended CSS code thing, and for where I could just change the hue, the number for the color thing and all. So it just made it faster. But the reason why I was confident enough to be able to take those steps was because
you already have
exactly, I've been introduced to
knowledge
it. I'm not afraid. And even many times, even with the website, with my company website, if I need to do something, I need to add something extra and all, because obviously with those sites you can customize it. It's easy for me to just see some bunch of code when they say go to the back end, add this to the last line of the WP file. But I'm not afraid to go to the back end. So that has been an advantage of
it's really an advantage.
Of having that.
I'm glad I did a few months also basic exercises on HTML. Then I was crossing to CSS before I really got caught up in other things and kind of paused them. I always still go back to them because they are kind of like relevant, always would be relevant for anyone who wants to explore business that involves using any of this tech. Whether you want to hire someone or you want to do it by yourself. So either way, you need to really be tech inclined.
And that's where the future, that's where the world is going.
That's
to.
the future.